This is a bit of an unconventional start, but I have a quarter gallon of milk that I bought for my mother. We're out here on a vacation, and this is something that she asked me to buy. So let's just say this quarter gallon of milk, or this quarter gallon container, is my hopes, my dreams, my visions, my expectations. If I don't like what's going on in my life, and I don't feel that my hopes, visions, and expectations are actually happening right now, that they're not what I thought they were or what I want them to be, I can't sit here with this and expect this to then all of a sudden turn into my hopes, dreams, and expectations. That would be a little bit irrational, wouldn't you think? Perhaps delusional. But maybe I get attached to what I think this should be. And I think, someday this is going to turn into my expectations and my hopes and my dreams. It's going to look like how I've envisioned it, even though it doesn't look like it right now. For that to happen, got to pour this out. Got to pour this right out. And then I have to let in what it is I've dreamed, hoped, imagined, envisioned. I'm not going to pour this out because my mom's going to be a little upset if I don't return with the milk that she told me to buy. But I want you to think about that in your life. What are things that you're holding on to right now that to let in the good, or to let in what you've dreamed of and hoped for, you'll have to let go of what you're holding on to right now. I'll give you an example, very brief. I always come back to the immaculate swim season in high school. My freshman year, I said, oh man, I'm gonna make the basketball team. I'm gonna play with all my friends. It's gonna be great. Had an expectation of what it was gonna be, how it was gonna go. I just had all this idea. I could even see myself in the basketball jersey. I could see it all. And I was like, oh man, this is it. And my civics teacher pulled me aside and said, Tishant, what are you doing for the winter? Winter sports? And I said, balling. I'm out here. If I want to be on the team, might be even JV, maybe varsity if they're lucky. Which was no way. I mean, I was like freshman, I was super short. But he said, hey, well, I'll make a deal with you. If you don't make the basketball team, join the swim team. I said, why would I do that? He said, because I coach it, and it's a great team, and we're awesome. And I said, man, I don't know about no swimming, but I did swim a lot leading up to my freshman year. This plays in. I didn't make the basketball team, so I said I was going to make the swim team. So I said I'll do the swim team. There was no making the swim team. They take all comers. Swimming is one of these brutal sports. It is one thing that is just, I've come to know as one of the toughest things physically I've ever done in my life. And in swimming and on the swim team, I ended up qualifying for regionals. I ended up going to state as a senior, as one of the only black swimmers in the state of Minnesota to be at that meet. I think myself and two others were there, two other black swimmers. And I ended up accomplishing everything, getting all the success, elevating to all the places that I thought I would in basketball, but it was with swimming. I had to let go of what my idea of success was, or my expectations of athletic prowess in winter season was going to be, to let in what was happening with the swim season. If I still held on to those expectations of what was going to happen with basketball, or even my idea of how I saw myself in basketball, I was never going to succeed or attain all the things that I did through swimming, and some of the most amazing things that happen in swimming as well. I'll tell in some other videos. And it plays into a lot of parts in our life. And another example I'll give you is I was told a story of who my father was growing up. And I think, everybody has, different perspectives on different people, and this is that and the third. And I felt that I had an idea of who my dad was. And I said, oh, he's this, is that, and the third, and I've heard this about him. And I had heard from everything and everybody except for him. And all of this talk, all of this, just kind of dialogue skewed what I thought of him. And it definitely manipulated my relationship with him. And I never had a great relationship with my father. I always had this strange, he was always the villain in my story. And I never would allow him to be anything but that. And this can go into other places in your life. Who are the villains in your life? It could be, really anything. It could be a place. It could be an object even. Spoke about that on this channel a little bit ago. And to get to know my father, it's February of 2020. We'll never forget this. Went to a giant group therapy. And to get to know my father, I had to let go of everything that I had heard of him. I had to call him, and then I had to just talk to him. Had to entirely let go, let it all go, so I could let in the truth and the relationship that I wanted to have with my father. And to have that, to get that, I had to let go of everything that I had heard prior. I had to let go of everything that I thought of myself leading up to that winter season. I had to let go of everything I had been told in my childhood leading up to that conversation with my father. I had to let go of all the apprehensions and fears that I had before making this video or making a YouTube channel. I had to let go of all of that and let in the good, or let in the dream, the goal, the vision, the imagination. Let that in. And when you let in what is serving you, you will then start having a life that serves you. You will then start stepping into all of these things, goals, dreams, and imaginations, imagine scenarios that you've been working towards. But to get there, you have to let go of what you've been holding on to. And so some scenarios, they say let go and let God, live and let die. These all in some way pertain to what the message of this video is. What have you been holding on to that you have to let go of to let in the good? What have you been lying to yourself about, being dishonest to yourself about, saying that at some point this thing is going to turn into the thing that I'm looking for, even though it's not? How do you actually let go of that? What have you been telling yourself to hold on to that? It could be a story, it could be a substance, it could be certain people you've been keeping around you, it could be self-talk, rotten, low down, dirty self-talk that you've been telling yourself this whole time. It could be a place that you've been staying in. It could be things that are occupying your time. It could be video games, it could be whatever it may be. What are you allowing in your life, continually, tacitly being complicit within your life, that if you were to let go of it, you could then let in the things that would start to support you in your dreams? What is that? Who are those things? And these, I say this not as if this is something easy to do. There are many times, there's mosquitoes out here, there are many times when we have people in our lives that we love dearly. They're our friends, they're our partners, these ride or dies. But there are certain times when you being with that person or that person being in your life is going to continually hold you back from what you're trying to let in. So if you are holding on to somebody or something, or somebody I should say, what I was referencing earlier, that is going to ultimately hold up what you're trying to achieve, those are some of the toughest things to do. And I'm not saying in any regard that it is a simple or basic maneuver to all of a sudden just, somebody's out of your life. What I will say though, and we'll get into this in another video, the second that you start to go for what you want to let in, the second that you start walking with your dreams and visions and goals and all of these wonderful things, things will start to purge themselves from your life. And at those points, you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to hold on to those things and really kind of hold up the progression or the journey towards the thing that you're going for, or let it go. Let it go and let it in. So that is the challenge from this video. And in the comments below, I challenge you in the comments below, what are some of the things that have been the toughest things to let go? To let the good things in.